Welcome to Theme Weavers, your weekly wisdom for weaving yoga themes into your classes to inspire your students. We're your hosts, Heidi
and Farin.
Welcome, Theme Weavers. We're exploring the last chakra, the seventh
The
chakra,
last one.
all the way up there.
That's
Last
amazing.
one. We started our series on the chakras 8 weeks ago already. So if you're not familiar with chakras, go back and listen to episode 31 or season 2, episode 6 to get a general idea of the chakra system and then get yourself caught. But anyway, we're here today on our seventh chakra, all the way at the crown. It's not even like connected to you, it's above you.
It's outside of you.
It's not even part of the body, outside of you.
In
Super
your
cool.
aura.
But in case this is your first episode you're listening to, go back to episode 2 of Theme Weavers for details and background of how and why to weave themes through your yoga classes. Like, why are we doing this in the first place? Already on the seventh chakra, but like the whole point of this podcast is to help you theme a class. So if you choose to use today's teaching on the seventh chakra as your theme while using the gift of our inspo sheet, find a way to turn our voices into yours and make this theme authentic to you specifically. Lastly, a quick friendly reminder that if you enjoy Theme Weavers and the content we've been sharing, leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast. Follow our show and also find us on Instagram. Keep up to date on some fun reels and posts that we like to share. And we just want to give a shout out of gratitude to everyone who listens and who interacts with us.
Gratitude! That was me shouting out my gratitude.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. Our final chakra. Farin, how does one say the name of the seventh chakra in Sanskrit?
Sahasrara.
She's very good at that. The SR sound together always stumps my tongue. Sahasrara. I can't do it. Literally, my tongue can't do it. Sahasrara. Rara. Sahasrara. Sahasrara. I don't ever want to make that noise again. I don't think I'm doing it right.
I think you're trying to overroll your R.
Oh, I can't do it. Sahasrara.
Or you just call it the crown.
I can't do that from now on. I will do the crown. But I want to be good at it. Like, I want to feel like it comes natural and just rolls off of my tongue. It did not. But okay. So our crown chakra is located. You'll never guess where it's located. Well, we kind of already told you.
Top of your head?
At the crown of the head. And you know it's the crown because it's like if you were a queen or a king, it's where your crown would sit. Right? Some people think when I say like length of the crown of your head up to the ceiling, they think I'm talking about like that spot on their forehead that goes to their hairline and they go like that. I'm like, no. Chin stays parallel to the ground. You don't want your crown to slip off your head. Right?
Yes, that happens in my classes too, so
Oh my God.
much. And I'm like, I point to it. I'm like, the crown.
Can you go to the dollar store or Burger King and get a crown and wear it to teach class and be like, we're going to do the crown chakra today and we're going to explore it and you're going to have a crown on your head the whole time? Will you do that for me and take a picture for my birthday?
For your birthday?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. That's kind of, is that like cultural appropriation?
Shoot. I mean, yes and no. Because how is that any different than me saying I was going to wear red for a root chakra class, right? You're putting a crown on your head to show the space where the crown chakra is and also to show people how to lengthen their crown up without dropping their crown. So that way their posture is nice and long and lengthened.
I think it's just because you said Burger King crown. Just made it feel real cheap.
All right, fine. Maybe you can go to an expensive restaurant that also has crowns. I don't know what to say.
But this reminds me of one time that I went to Burger King to get the Impossible Whopper. And as I was in the drive-thru, she was like, "Do you want a crown?" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Do you want a crown?" And I was like, "I'm an adult." She just looked at me like,
So, and your
yeah,
point?
I didn't know that they just gave crowns to everybody. I thought that was just like for the kids' meals or something.
I think everybody
I should have taken the crown. I didn't take it.
deserves a crown.
I guess
You are
so.
royalty for existing in this plane of space in this period of time. You deserve royalty and a Burger King crown. However, this crown,
Thank you.
our non-literal crown, our energetic crown, is the center of spiritual connection, which you would not know given the tone of this conversation so far. It's also the center of enlightenment and divine consciousness. Like a gateway to the infinite, the seventh chakra opens us up to the realization of our true nature and the unity of all existence. And this is a chakra that I can intellectually understand, but I do not always feel the actual connection to it personally, in case you were wondering. However,
How do I feel about this chakra?
how do you feel about this chakra?
I don't know. I'm kind of like undecided.
All right. Well, when you decide, let me know.
Yeah, let's keep exploring it. I think I need the Dharma talk to
Okay, I'm
hit.
going to keep going with my Dharma talk then. So, learning about the crown
Yes.
chakra is really important because it does invite us to awaken to our highest potential and to connect with the divine within and around us. It encourages us to transcend the limitations of the ego and experience a profound sense of oneness with the universe. By understanding and nurturing our crown chakra, we can access higher states of consciousness, experience spiritual awakening, and live from a place of divine wisdom and love. All right, so that was a lot of words, but how do we know if our crown chakra is actually in balance or not? So, when our seventh chakra, our crown, is functioning optimally, we experience a deep sense of spiritual connection and enlightenment. We feel a profound sense of peace, joy, and oneness with all of creation. However, if the crown chakra is too open, we may become disconnected from the physical world, lost in spiritual fantasies or delusions. On the other end, if it's closed or blocked, we might experience feelings of spiritual disconnection, alienation, or a lack of purpose and meaning in life. I think a lot of people do struggle with issues related to the crown chakra, and we'll talk about that between us in a moment. Whether it's feeling disconnected from our spiritual essence, searching for deeper meaning and purpose, or experiencing existential questions about the nature of reality, these are all signs that our crown chakra might be out of balance. But as we start to explore this connection to our seventh chakra, we have to transcend the limitations of our egos and surrender to the divine flow of life. Such an easy thing to roll off of my tongue, such a very hard thing to actually do.
It's that surrender word.
You know how I feel about that. It asks us to let go of our attachments and identities, to trust in the wisdom of the universe, and to surrender to the divine will. And let me just say, I'll talk about this in 1 second again, but a few episodes ago, we were talking about authentically knowing who we are and sharing that. And like, you do all this work to know who you are, and then you have to just let go of your attachment to it. What? That's a lot. It's a lot of ask. But I don't know. You guys have heard me. If you listen to our episode on Ishvara Pranidhana, back on episode 18 in season 1, I talked about my struggle with this. I have a really hard time connecting my linear mind to this idea, and I have a lot of resistance to it, which also shows up for me when working with my crown chakra, which is kind of funny that I'm the one giving the Dharma talk today on this. But these challenges kind of balance out for me when it comes to understanding my dharma and purpose. So I'm not always feeling like I'm searching for meaning in my own life because I feel like I have meaning. But the rest of it, that's where I struggle. And I think it's okay to separate them. I feel like in most of these chakras, for me myself, I've talked about how like I have open this, closed in that, or I really feel very in balance here. But like when I talk about this parts of it, like, nope, they have nothing to me. They mean nothing. I have no connection. So these are complicated, right? I remember Farin talking about they're not just like swirling in one direction. They're like multidimensional and all sort of planes of space, swirling energy centers. So like maybe parts of these energy centers are spot on and parts are just like kind of stuck and not swirling at all, right? So it makes sense that you're not going to be perfectly in balance in every little aspect of every little part. But
And constantly,
yes,
like you can have like a really closed throat chakra for a while and then it gets open and then something else closes and something else opens. Like your energy is constantly shifting. So it's not like you are a person that has a blocked throat chakra, end of story. You can never work on it. Like, yeah, or crown chakra since we're on crown now, but I keep going back to throat.
because it was a good, yeah, it was a good
But yeah,
conversation.
like it's always moving.
Yeah. And I mean, we see that in a very linear way in our practice. I always remind people that, like, maybe what you can do on one side is going to be very different than the other, or what you could do 3 weeks ago or 5 years ago in practice is going to feel very different today. And it'll feel even more different, it's not good grammar, and like a year or 7 years or 20 years, right? So, like, everything's changing and shifting and nothing's permanent. And that's a huge understanding to us, especially when we're finding frustration, resistance, or struggle. I think when it comes to some of this stuff, if we know that it's not permanent, it's just what it is right now,
Hmm.
that can help.
Yeah.
I don't know, even though it's hard and I don't feel like I super connect with some of these things beyond the intellectual layer, I do still want to do the work because I understand that I can have greater opportunities to feel a sense of spiritual awakening, or maybe, dare I say, enlightenment. I don't know, maybe. I mean, not if I have the attitude of like, I don't know, maybe, and then I'm probably never going to experience it. But if I'm a little more open to it, you never know. But
Yeah.
we can transcend this illusion of separation and experience the unity of all existence. Like, I do believe that's possible. We can live from a place of divine love, wisdom, and compassion, radiating light and love into the world. Sounds pretty magical. Even if I don't feel it all the time, like, the idea of it is pretty magical. So, at least for today, I do invite you to bring your awareness to the crown of your head, to your seventh chakra, where you can allow yourself to connect with the infinite wisdom and love that resides within you, opening to the divine flow of life. And remember, by nurturing your crown chakra, you can unlock the door to a life filled with spiritual awakening, enlightenment, and divine love. It's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I love this. And I feel like the harder you work in your physical body, the closer you get to this like spiritual awakening, enlightenment, divine love, like connection with the universe and other people around you. Like I feel like the tougher the experience you have together in like a group class, then like the more open you become to like experiencing the interconnectedness. I
That's
don't
so
know. What do you think?
interesting. It's so interesting because to me, I was thinking like I would need a very deep restorative and meditation based class in order to feel
Mm,
this level of acknowledging my resistance to it and then letting that start to slowly go away the longer I have to stay in positions where I don't want to be in, because I don't like to sit still. That's hard for me. So, like, it's
hmm.
kind of confronting that. You know, that moment, I don't know if this happens to you or if it's just like a Heidi thing, but like if you're getting a massage or you're in like a deep shavasana, or you're, I don't know, in some space where you start to relax and you almost feel like the ground sort of falls out from underneath you and you like float above. Has that ever happened to you?
Uh-huh.
When
Yeah.
that happens to me, I feel like I'm going to die, and I snap out of it, and I like immediately like run from the sensation, whether it's physical running or just like my eyes run open, like they jot open. I have to ground myself to the room. Like, I get very fearful feeling. But I think that that's where my block to this sort of work is like
The
letting,
surrender.
yeah, like letting that feeling happen and know that like I'm safe.
Mm,
And I think once I can do that level of work, and it's a very nervous system level, right? This is not, my brain can't do this work. My nervous system has to be willing. Um,
mhm.
Maybe that's when I start to feel more open to this idea of spirituality in this way, shape, and form that's not intellectual.
Mhm. Interesting. So we have like polar opposite thoughts in this class.
Yeah. And maybe that's cool, right? Like, whoever's listening might also have the ability to either take the same theme into very different styles of class, or yeah, for me, or like a yin class, even like something where you have to hold things a lot longer and get physically uncomfortable, break past that physical discomfort, and then surrender. So it's like
Hmm.
I need to be willing to practice Ishvara Pranidhana before I can even remotely believe that my crown chakra is even in existence.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny though? Because
Oh,
what's my favorite
so
color?
purple.
What's our crown color?
Yeah, it's purple. Hmm. It reminds me of the quote that you said a few episodes ago of like what you practice in the light is what you need in the dark.
Yeah.
Maybe you like purple because you really want to be able to feel that surrender thing without freaking out about it.
Yeah. Like trying to project it. and connect with it
Yeah.
in a very unscary way.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just really like the color purple.
Could be that.
Oh, remember when my hair was purple? Now I'm embracing the
I
grays.
do. That's
Those
good.
were the
That's
days.
surrender. You're
Yeah, that's
practicing
right.
it in tiny ways.
That's right. In my grays.
So, I'm going to start our Dharma talk, our little chat. It's time to get into the phrase. We call it our thematic through line phrase. So, we keep saying this phrase throughout the class, different points and different postures to help your students come to the idea of the seventh, their crown chakra. So, some options that you might like to use are surrender to the flow, be the light, trust in divine wisdom, or we like to ask questions. Can you feel the connection to something bigger?
But if the answer is no,
Then you need to open up your damn seventh chakra, don't you? Your Sahasrara.
well, that's evident. That is obvious. No surprise here. I think we know that.
Do you have any others
No.
than those?
No. I don't.
Absolutely not.
I don't, because this is hard for me. I don't know that I could teach a class on this other than an intellectually based one.
Yeah.
I could teach about surrender. I can teach about the light within me being the same light within each of us and within nature and that kind of thing. I would never teach about the word divinity or even spiritual connection. It's hard for me. Maybe if I didn't have a religion, I'd have an easier time with it. Or if I was more connected to my religion.
Yeah, maybe. Because, like, I don't have a religion.
And do you feel a
And
big
this,
connection?
yeah, I feel a big connection to, like, divine wisdom, spirituality, connection to something bigger. Because it's not like a religious background that's giving me that. It's more of just like, I guess, the yoga background and the yoga way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
It feels lighter and less restrictive.
I feel like light I can get behind and energy I can get behind. And I know we've talked about this probably on the podcast too, but the word divinity is just such a synonym for God. And I struggle. But I do feel interconnected to all beings everywhere and have a really hard time understanding hate and divisiveness and meanness and unkindness because of that. So in some ways, I feel like my crown chakra is quite open, but just not to the like divinity
The
aspect
words,
of it. Yeah.
like the feelings there, but when you start to put all these like English words to define it, then you
Yes.
struggle with.
That is a perfect way of describing it. You finally put words to everything that I've been trying to experience. To communicate. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. I like
that's
that.
what we're here for.
Yeah, good
That's why we're a team.
job. Good job, team. Teammate. High five. Boom. All right, cool.
All right. Yeah, so we got those thematic through line phrases you can keep coming back to ask people to feel that energy in the space, the connection of something bigger, their trust their divine wisdom. But how do we bring that alive in the class through pranayama or peak postures or anything else? Yeah, thoughts?
You know rabbit pose? Do you know that
Uh-huh.
pose? Where like you're holding your
It's
heel,
like child's pose, but
your butt's in the
different.
air and your hands are, it's more like an
Yeah.
embryo pose, but you're holding your heels and your butt's in the air, your forehead's on the ground, or the crown of your head's on the ground. Or maybe like a hero pose, where you find so much axial extension linked through your whole spine, out through the crown of your head, and you're lengthening the crown of your head up. Maybe I like that better actually.
Hmm.
But to me, the rabbit part is like a surrendering. Like if you think about when you picture like religion, a lot of religions, you bow to this divinity, this God, like it's bigger than you almost. You're out of a sign of respect or reverence. So this like idea of like crown connecting down as you bow forward is very humble, or like a humble warrior, something very humbling to me is like
Yeah.
the word or the sensation that I feel comes up for me at least.
Yeah, I like that. I like the humble warrior idea.
I don't have a pranayama, but just like meditation in general, or like an Om Namah Shivaya mantra meditation.
What does that translate to again?
I bow down to Shiva, or it can be interpreted as bowing down to one's own self, as Shiva said to reside in all consciousness. I bow to the divine consciousness within me and all beings. That's how I would interpret that versus like a deity.
Yeah.
So Om Namah Shivaya, or could you go from like heroes to rabbit as you're repeating this mantra?
I mean, I'm sure you could.
Or like humble warrior, you know, like you're interlacing and you're literally repeating this mantra in your head as you're bowing forward. And
yeah.
it's
Like there has to be like a lift first. Like you're lifting the crown of your head up and away and then bowing down. I like it.
That works for me. And you got a mantra in there. We don't usually talk about mantra as much. We usually do more pranayama.
So, but crown chakra, is there any like mudra? I don't know of any. We'll look it up though. The one that I'm looking at says Sahasrara, and it says touch the tips of your index fingers and your thumbs together to form a pyramid shape. Extend your other fingers straight up. Raise your hands with the mudra to about 6 inches above the top of your head.
Oh, well, I've never done it. Have you?
It's pretty.
I'm
going to start doing this all the time. I'll finish the episode like this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Your arms are looking really buff.
Thanks. I think that gives us some inspo. We'll have some more things on our inspo sheet as well. You can pick that up at themeweaversyoga.com/episode 39. And Heidi, give us the conclusion to our class.
All right, here we go. So as we end our physical practice and prepare to continue our yoga class off of the mat and into your daily life, I invite you to keep exploring your connection to the crown chakra. It doesn't end here, right? So remember that you are a divine being connected to the infinite wisdom and love of the universe. Trust in the divine plan, surrender to the flow of life, and let your light shine brightly for all to see. I like that last part so very much. The last two parts. Surrender to the flow of life and let your light shine brightly for all to see. I want to shine a bright light everywhere I go. That's why.
Yeah, just imagine that you're wearing that crown.
It's like
with shine.
You know, some days like you see like a column of light in the sky at night and you're like, oh, who's got the spotlight going? Like outside of when they have one of the spotlights, you could be like the spotlight everywhere, shining day or night.
The only spotlight that I know that does that is at a strip club.
I was thinking like the Grammy Awards or something.
Oh, okay. Well.
Or at the strip club in Fresno, apparently.
Yeah.
All right. So whether you're inspired by strip clubs or by divine energy, which is also found in strip clubs, I guess.
Divine.
You can go to
strippers can be divine.
They are divine. Everybody is divine. No matter what your chosen profession is or chosen thing to do in your life, you are divine. Now go to our website, themeweaversyoga.com/episode 39. The link's also in our show notes, and request the inspo sheet for the 7th chakra to help you bring this theme alive in your own voice and in your own practice and teaching. And please reach out to us on all the different channels and ways of reaching out. You'll know how to find us. We're here for you. Let us know how we can support you in your class preparation and delivery and your future learning, and how we can be of the most support. Tune in next week for a surprise. You don't know where we're going next, although you probably do if you figured out the structure by now. We try to even it's like 5 numbered episode to have a guest come on with their back pocket sequence, but you don't know where we're going after that. You just don't know. You're gonna have to find out.
I don't know. There's no roadmap.
No roadmap.
Where we're going, there are no roads.
Surrender. What is that from?
Do you know what that's from?
No, I've heard it. What's that from?
Back to the Future. You want to know something funny?
Duh.
I've never seen that movie.
Shut your face.
Never seen it.
You've never seen Marty McFly?
But I know that quote.
That doesn't count. You can't use it if you've never seen it. I made that rule up now.
Well, I guess I have homework to do.
Go watch Marty McFly. All of them. All of the futures. All of the back twos.
Like I know that there's a DeLorean. I know that quote. I know the pop culture references, but I've never actually.
I believe there's even like a Broadway musical, Back to the Future now, and I heard it's actually good, and I am shocked by that. Oh. Super random. All right, well, if you don't know how to weave themes, go back to episode 2, Why Weave? The Importance of Threading Intention into Your Yoga for Background and Inspiration. We've got you. We'll teach you how to weave them, hopefully in a more succinct way than we do on this podcast, but we're keeping you entertained. So until next time,
We weave you in peace.